Do you sometimes feel heavy after eating? Are you wondering how you can lighten up with some proper ways of yogic diet? Then you are right in this exploration of yogic fasting. Different ways how
Action!
Do you sometimes feel heavy after eating? Are you wondering how you can lighten up with some proper ways of yogic diet? Then you are right in this exploration of yogic fasting. Different ways how to regulate your food intake in a harmonious way. Being balanced in our food intake is a foundational ability. So there is a variety of techniques we will explore in this session. We are, for example, looking at intermittent fasting, at juice fasting, as well as water fasting. So, three different areas, approaches to reducing our nutrient intake temporarily. So, this is the topic of our exploration, and it comes in the context of what we could call a spring clean, a seasonal way of releasing ourselves of toxins. There are so many benefits in lightening up, in alleviating ourselves, in reducing, and in this way eliminating certain toxins. One of the headlines of it is detoxification, a yogic form of detox. And there is a variety of approaches to that, both ancient and modern. In the traditional context, we see that yoga overlaps with Ayurveda. Yoga and Ayurveda are like sister sciences. And Ayurveda is a kitchen medicine related to a holistic and integrated well-being. So yoga therapy and Ayurveda are closely related, and the Ayurvedic science of life is very famous for giving recommendations not on the type of food only we eat, but also the timing, and even more important, the typology. Who should eat in which season, what, and when. So there's a whole deep rabbit hole in that area, which we will later on touch as well towards the end of this session. But first, we will look also at some more modern approaches to holistic fasting. And one of the most famous ones, which is super widespread in the modern times, is the so-called intermittent fasting. So different scientists and experts are having different understandings and recommendations about intermittent fasting. So we'll just take a bird's eye first view on this topic and start with the most common basic understanding to reduce one's food intake to something like 6 hours, 10 hours maximum per day. So it's in many ways skipping one meal. And there's pros and cons in skipping breakfast and or skipping dinner. So it depends on your typology and maybe also on the season. So make the choice which feels aligned and right for your body. Intuitive eating is the name of the game. Are you a breakfast person, starving already by 9 o'clock? If you didn't have your first snack, you get hangry. Then maybe you shouldn't skip your breakfast. But it could be beneficial for you to just skip on the dinner. Maybe not 7 days per week, but regularly have your last meal in the mid-afternoon and then don't eat throughout the evening and go to bed on a light stomach. This is actually done also traditionally and classically, I want to say. So this is done, for example, in monastic practices such as the Buddhist path, where the monks and also nuns, lay people, when they live in a monastery, such as a Vipassana retreat center, they are actually reducing their food intake to breakfast and lunch. And Buddhist ordained monks and nuns are not eating anything solid after 12 noon in most of their lineages. That was recommended also by Gautama Buddha already 2,500 years ago, and it has survived ever since in this famous approach of meditation. I've been doing so many Buddhist Vipassana meditation retreats, and I've been experimenting a lot with that, and the experience shows that if you are having that very light diet in the afternoon, evening, at night you also have a very lucid sleep. So it is very supportive for lucid dreaming. And especially in a meditation retreat, if you've been meditating all day long, then you are very likely to continue your meditation at night. And there you get so many benefits from that. And you have a full restorative, rejuvenating, regenerating sleep. And you wake up not only recharged in your physical body, but also your mind gets super clear, sharp, and lucid. So many benefits on a psychological and spiritual level on about this intermittent fasting, no doubt about it. If you're keen on the more medical and physiological benefits of intermittent fasting, it's super easy to educate yourself. There's so many blog posts and YouTube videos out there. And in another future video, we'll also go deeper into a harmonious yogic perspective on intermittent fasting. One footnote to the kind of daily approach of intermittent fasting, one can also see that a fasting day per week is also a form of intermittent temporary fasting on a regular basis, reducing our nutrition intake. So choosing which day of the week is suitable for you, either during the weekdays or on the weekend. Every Saturday, every Wednesday, I'm not eating anything at all. I'm just drinking. So that is also very beneficial for the digestive system, to give it a break. That's generally the benefit of intermittent fasting, that we are reducing the load, the, in a way, requirements that the digestive system has to deal with all that food intake in the process of metabolism, of taking in nutrients and eliminating waste products. That's pretty heavy duty for the digestive system. So it's very beneficial to give it a break on a daily basis and even on a weekly basis, allowing it to rest and do the maintenance tasks. So that bird's eye perspective on intermittent fasting. Next in line is the so-called juice fasting, which also sometimes comes under the keywords of cleansing, juice cleansing, spring cleanse, etc., where we significantly reduce the intake of solid foods, or maybe altogether stop eating any solid chewable ingredients and just rely on juices. There could be a differentiation if it is just watery fluid juices, or does it also include smoothies, which is basically solid food put into the blender. So that's in the closer sense not a juice fasting, yet can still be very beneficial and purifying in so many ways. So in the closer sense, watery juice fasting has many benefits. Again, the lightening up on the digestive system, less effort to digest this kind of pre-digested juice. And in this way, more space for maintenance and also elimination, which is a part of maintenance, detoxification, getting rid of all these accumulated toxins, which we usually put into our system. So many, many benefits of that. Yet there is one important warning, which the mainstream nutritional scientists and physiologists are putting as an alarm stop sign into our face. Please be super careful that you do not have too much of sugar intake for too extended periods of time. So the glycemic index, the glucose, the fructose, the fruit sugar coming our way from all those juices creates actually a spike in the blood sugar. This is double the case because we remove the fiber from the fruits, and then the fruit sugar, the fructose, is directly coming via the fluid. The fluid gets absorbed super quickly like water, and it directly goes into the bloodstream, causing the glucose level in our bloodstream to spike. And then the body needs to protect itself from that excessive high level of blood sugar, and it triggers the pancreas to put insulin to counterbalance and bring the blood sugar level down again. And that in the long run is a very problematic up and down phenomenon, which the body hates, and it might be even related to some forms of diabetes. So please be super careful with that. Educate yourself and try to reduce the sugar content in your juices. For example, water them down. And choose ingredients in your juices which are comparatively at least a little bit lower in the sugar levels. Okay, that in a nutshell on the juice fast. It obviously is very lightening up. It can make you feel like you live in paradise as we do here in Bali. So even in a more colder climate, you can feel light and bright. Yet some people would discourage you to do juice fasting during the winter. Generally, fasting can reduce some of your energy. So in the winter, you might prefer to have some more solid and nourishing food. And then in the spring cleanse, you lighten up, prepare for the summer. Good. Last but not least, we look at the water fasting, where it's basically zero nutrient intake.